Hello, Hidden Hermit here, and my oh my, what is the vibe? So yeah, this is my latest What's the Vibe video, just having a look at what's going on in the sky, mixing that with a little bit of a chance, and combining that with an intuitive wee tarot reading. So what is the vibe? What is going on in the sky at the moment? Obviously, there's a huge, massive, big thing happening today. Today being Monday the 2nd of December 2019. It is about, I don't even know what the time is. I'm only worried about this time. This chart here, this is the chart for 20 past 6 in the evening and 16 seconds, don't you know? 20 past 6 in the evening UK time. In fact, this chart is for Glasgow, which is where I am. It would be a bit silly doing this for somewhere where I'm not, but there you go. What happens then? Well, Jupiter makes its annual ingress into a new sign, swapping over from Sagittarius to Capricorn. Ooh. And if we were to talk about the language of tarot, here is... Oh, that's terrible, isn't it? Let me just press a button. Hey. So there is Jupiter. Jupiter is going to be meeting up with Venus, who's currently at 8 degrees Capricorn. Saturn is currently at 18 degrees Capricorn. Pluto, who's, sort of stodging along at 21 degrees Capricorn. And there's Capricorn. It kind of gives you the sense of the vibe. The Wheel of Fortune meeting the Empress, the World Judgment in the domain of the devil. Now, I have said many times before, I think it is unfair that Capricorn gets lumped with the archetype of the devil. But then again, the archetype of the devil is, well, it can be archetypally a devil, I suppose. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that right now because this is a What's the Vibe video. What is the vibe? What else is going on in the sky at the moment? So, aside from a void, of course, moon at this present moment, meaning it's not making any major super aspects with any other planet before it goes from Aquarius into Pisces. Pisces moon coming up, everybody. You're going to be feeling a little bit weepy. Well, some of you are anyway. Those of you who have Pisces moons, water moons, anything anything that passes through that Pisces area in your chart. When I did a lot of readings over the phone, I always found that Pisces moons, everybody got incredibly sensitive and sentimental. That is not in any way me being disparaging about Pisces. It's a great area of the sky. What else is going on? Fortunately, Mars is moving away from its opposition with Uranus. Thank goodness. For me, obviously all the little comments I put in mostly relate to me. We got quite a few nice trines going on with what's going on in Capricorn at the moment. In fact, Neptune at 15 degrees Pisces is got a loose trine with Mercury. Mercury's coming out of its shadow period in Scorpio, so we can all breathe easier in terms of communication, I would imagine. There's also trines going on with Uranus, with Venus and Jupiter. It's Uranus at 3 degrees Taurus, slightly moving backwards, and either side of it, a nice trine in Capricorn. You've got Venus at 8 degrees and Jupiter at 0 degrees Capricorn. Now, this Capricorn conjunction, this is a sign conjunction. It's really important. Many people, many much better people than me out there have said and written lots about the upcoming Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which is happening in the second week of January, between the 13th and the 15th of January. And lots of other planets are going to be either approaching it, in the case of Jupiter, or Venus will be passing this conjunction. Mars will be meeting this conjunction next March. The moon's going to be meeting it, once a month, as it does. And of course, the sun is going to be creeping up behind it. And you will see the sun mixing it up with Pluto and Saturn from the 21st of December, going all the way up until you know, the second, third week of January. It's all very exciting, but what does this mean for us? I don't know. So let's do some other stuff, shall we? So let's leave it up to a little bit of chance where we're going to find our messages. This is going to be messy. That wasn't so messy. That was pretty good, I would suggest. So what we're doing now is that we've already got a Capricorn, so there's a bit of a Capricorn vibe going on. There's a lot of Cancer going on over here. Unfortunately, there are no planets in Cancer at the moment. All the summer signs, all the spring and summer signs are quite barren with the exception of Taurus. Everything's... I mean, and what does that mean as well? I mean, all the planets are coming up from Scorpio, arguably up to Pisces, with Uranus doing its own thing as Uranus does over in Taurus. But there's this huge cluster of planets in this area of the chart, in the night time. Well, I say nighttime, in the dark area, the winter area of the chart. What does that mean? I don't know. I would suspect that it could mean things like things coming to an end, things coming to conclusions, more of a vibe of trying to get things done before more stuff happens. There's a node, get rid of that. We've got Mars, Sun and Mercury already trying to vie for our attention. In fact, there's just one Sun. This is really disappointing, really, isn't it? Really disappointing. A bit of Virgo going on here. Am I missing anything? We're looking for the 8th house, which is currently empty. Right, so we've just got two messages. A message from Cancer over here, which is, of course, opposite Capricorn, and a message from the Sun. Boo! Oh, well, let's go with that. I'm going to be using Delphi. Delphi has been cleansed and shuffled. Oh, now that's going to be important. What just fell out? The Knight of Wands, which is interesting because the Knight of Wands is a very Sagittarian card. The Sun is of course, in Sagittarius. The Knight of Wands rules the first two decans of Sagittarius, so everything from November the 20th up until about December the 10th. Marvelous. I do like the Knight of Wands. I think he's awesome. Anyway, so let's see what these two messages are going to be asking us, and I may even throw a third card down just because this is quite disappointing. I suppose I should apologize, but hey. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the fact that all the planets are sort of clustered between Scorpio and Pisces. No, I mean, there's a lot of... Mars is currently in Scorpio. Mars likes being in Scorpio. I'm not sure the rest of us like it as a great deal. Mars wants to get things done. I would suggest that Mars is going to be playing a very prominent role come next March when it meets up with that conjunction in Capricorn. That's what it's going to be all about. All astronomy is talking about astrology. Excuse me. All astrologers are talking about the Pluto-Saturn conjunction and how it's going to really mix things up in terms of world governance. Which, well, it sounds quite exciting to me, to be perfectly honest. Right, let's just do this. So we're going to pull three cards. We're going to pull a message from the Sun. I'm going to tuck you in there. A message from Cancer, opposite Capricorn. What is the opposite sign to Capricorn wanting to tell us at the moment? And finally, I'm going to pull one more card, and I'm going to suggest that this is going to be for Jupiter in Capricorn. It's making its ingress into Capricorn, and will stay in Capricorn until December the 21st, 2020, where it goes into Aquarius. And interestingly, and I will be talking a lot more about this in future months, when it enters this time next year, when Jupiter enters a new sign at 0 degrees Aquarius, it will be doing it at exactly the same time as Saturn. A Saturn-Jupiter conjunction at 0 degrees Aquarius. That's very exciting. It's very, very exciting. Anyway, what's going on here? So what's the Sun trying to tell us? The Sun is currently in Sagittarius. Pretty happy there. I'm pretty happy to have the Sun in Sagittarius. So it's telling us about the Seven of Cups. So, okay, now Sagittarius, that Sagittarian energy, when the Sun passes through Sagittarius, it really sort of shines a light on all the things that you really want to get done, you know, all the places you want to go, and not necessarily geographical moves. I'm talking about places in your mind. So I'm suggesting that the sun is potentially giving us too much choice, too much going on, too much to consider. I would like to suggest that the sun wants to shine a light on one of these cups, on one of these choices. So are you feeling, if this chimes with anybody, are you feeling that this is a time to cut down the choices and to focus on one or two things, as opposed to trying to get everything done, which is a very Sagittarian energy, to be perfectly fair, which is why I love it so much. But yes, so is the suggestion here that it's a good time to knuckle down, focus on what needs to be prioritized. And you know, Sagittarius, it does have a serious and a fun side, so finding that balance between what you want to do for relaxation and fun, and what you need to do to enrich and embolden your life. That message came quite easily for me, I would suggest. The opposite side to Capricorn is indeed Cancer. What is Cancer? I got a sense that Cancer's trying to warn us of something, you know. With all this energy running through, very powerful Capricornian vibe, very powerful Capricorn sign indeed. What is Cancer trying to tell us? All right, okay, so it's trying to tell us about the Seven of Wands. This is really kind of cool, actually. The Sun in Sagittarius with a Venus in Scorpio card, and over here the Cancer, the first kind of summer sign, if you like. It's talking to us about Mars in Leo. Now the Seven of Wands is about battles. It's about fighting your battles. So that kind of does link up quite well. Two sevens going on here. Now the Seven of Wands is always it kind of gives us permission to fight our battles with conviction, because there is a good chance that you're actually right. So I think it's a similar message, to be perfectly honest. I think it's a very similar message. Two sevens coming on here. So the Sun's telling us to focus on our choices, our priorities, what we want and what we need, and get rid of all the stuff, all the other stuff. Seven of Wands, Cancer, being kind of sensitive on the other side, is telling us to once we choose those things, to really sort of focus on them and to fight for them. So it feels like some important choices need to be made at this time, generally, you know, centered around what we need to focus on most of all. It's getting very deep, very deep. Thanks, Cancer. Okay, so here is a very generic message as to what is Jupiter trying to achieve as it enters Capricorn on this really cold December day. It's the Hermit. That is marvelous. That is marvelous. So Jupiter is you know, the planet of expansion. Not only is it the planet of expansion, but it brings more of everything. So I have heard the suggestion, and I somewhat agree, to be perfectly honest, that Jupiter bringing its energy towards these conjunctions and all these meetings in Capricorn over the next year is going to bring a slight sense of urgency, a slight sense of we need to get this done, we need to achieve this, we need to, you know, there's many people I watch on YouTube, but one of my favorite astrologers is a chap by the name of Steve Judd. I just love his style. I think is awesome. But he's very excited about the upcoming Capricorn stuff, and he believes that this is the time, it's almost now or never, to break down the way in which we are governed, the way humans are governed, and try and start anew, which is a bold and, as I said before, quite exciting. However, here's the Hermit. So despite the fact that Jupiter is not going to be alone as it goes through Capricorn, there is potentially a sense that I've got a feeling that this Hermit, I mean, he's wearing red for a start. Is Jupiter going to help light the way? As Jupiter spends a year and 3 weeks and 1 day, I think, moving towards Capricorn, is he going to shine the light on these other conjunctions, the Pluto-Saturn conjunction. When Mars goes past that conjunction, Venus is going to be rocking up towards it in 2.5 weeks, if that. Is Jupiter going to help sort of shine a light on these things and really sort of illuminate what needs to be done? I'm just going to give you a much better look at this. Awesome Hermit. Yeah, so is he going to shine a light on exactly what needs to be done? Really reveal things. A lot of people would suggest that the Hermit is all about solitude, but Jupiter really isn't. The Hermit, for me, clearly a card that I've had spent a lot of time with. He gives you license to look inside yourself, because the answers are within you. Is Jupiter going to be riding through Capricorn, shining the light on things that we already know that we need to change potentially? Ooh, that's quite exciting. Right, well, there you go. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to press a button and make it all go wrong. Oh, that's not so bad. So, the Sun in Sagittarius is telling us that we need to cut down our choices. Cancer opposite Capricorn is telling us that once we've chopped our choices down to a manageable level, we fight for them. And the Hermit is signifying Jupiter's role as it goes through Capricorn from today on the 2nd of December until the 21st of December 2020. It's going to be shining a light on all the other planetary energies that come through Capricorn, really revealing what we all know should be done. Powerful stuff. Anyway, okay, so that's the vibe. The vibe is a very, it's kind of exciting. It's somewhat perturbing, I would suggest. There's a bit of urgency with these sevens coming along and telling us to sort our stuff out. And Jupiter, I think Jupiter today is an inauspicious day. Jupiter is really being the herald of all this potential change that we may see in the next year. Exciting stuff. In the meantime, I am the Hidden Hermit. Thank you ever so much for watching. I shall see you very, very soon.